everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to the channel. So I'm here today with basically an impromptu video. Was not expecting to film something today, but I have been having incredible luck hitting up 3 specific stores, and I wanted to share with you guys the haul that I've gathered since the beginning of the month. I didn't want to wait until the end of the month for this because it was too cool, and there's a sale I want to talk about in case you guys are interested so you can catch it potentially at your store. So I have been killing it at Big Lots, Dollar Tree, and I even have one film that I found at Dollar General. So I've been watching a lot of different YouTube videos lately, which are basically these, where people are going to Dollar Tree, Dollar General, and Big Lots and finding items. Now, for me, I never really shopped at Dollar General, and so I decided, you know what, there's a few in the area, let's go check them out. Unfortunately, I only was able to find one item that was worth picking up at like the 3 different ones I went to, but hey, it's better than nothing. And then Dollar Tree, of course, I go to all the time because it's a dollar store that's awesome, and so I go there a lot. I've talked about movies I've gotten there in the past. But then Big Lots, I've actually not been to Big Lots in probably a year or a year and a half now, until this month, and boy, are they killing it. So a lot of the movies that you see at the Big Lots, frankly, we've been seeing those ending up at Dollar Tree. So if you're patient and you think that movie might end up at the Dollar Tree eventually, hold off, wait for it. But there were some here that I don't know if I'm going to find them at a Dollar Tree or if they're actually going to hit the Dollar Tree. So I figured I would grab them because they were cheap. So pricing on these, the Dollar General, it was $5. Everything at Big Lots I picked up was $3, excluding one, which I'll mention, or two, which I'll mention. And then everything at Dollar Tree, of course, being a dollar store, was only $1. And boy, howdy, do I have an awesome haul from the Dollar Tree. Today has been an awesome day. I have just been media shopping all day long. My wife and my baby girl are out at my sister-in-law's house doing hair things that I have no interest in. And so I spent the day driving around all over town finding awesome media, and I have just hit the jackpot. I'm super excited to share with you guys everything that I picked up. So hopefully you guys are excited to see this kind of impromptu, random, spur of the moment haul. And yeah, so let's get to it. I have a lot of movies to talk about right now, so without further ado, let's dive right in. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the single film I grabbed from Dollar General, and that is The Woman in Black 2, Angel of Death. So I own the first movie, and I had it listed that I needed to find this Blu-ray cheap so I could complete the Women in Black, duology. And so I was able to do that for, like I said, this was $4.95 at Dollar General. And I've not seen this one. So I really am not the biggest fan of the original, quite frankly. The original has Daniel Radcliffe in it. I was super excited to go see that one when it came out. At that time, I was actually going to the theater, and we saw it in theaters, and it was a little bit disappointing. It's a very standard haunted house film. I think Daniel Radcliffe is good in it, but the ending really upset me because it was just so Hollywoodized. So I'm interested to see what Woman in Black 2 is going to be all about. I really want to read the original source material. I have it in my Audible shopping cart, and I've had it there forever. So I need to just buy it. It's only like $7 or something. So I want to get that, then watch the first film, and then finally get over to Woman in Black 2. So this was my first find, and this is the only one I grabbed from Dollar General. The Woman in Black 2, Angel of Death. So let's move over to everything I found from Big Lots, and I got quite a number of things. So the first one is a horror film called Incarnate. And this is really interesting because at the disc replays I've been to lately, there have just been loads of these movies, which is probably not a good sign. But for the $3 I paid for it, I figured I'd give it a chance. It has Aaron Eckhart in it, who is fantastic, and it looks to be a possession film, so hopefully I'll enjoy Incarnate. Next up, we have a horror film that, frankly, I've been wanting to see for quite a while, but I've never heard anything positive about it. But we have The Bye-Bye Man. So this was released in 2016, and it is just a standard kind of teen horror film, from what I understand of it. But it looked interesting in the trailer, so I figured I would give it a shot. So The Bye-Bye Man from 2016. This one was completely random. I knew nothing about it, but frankly, it had a really cool slipcover, so I ended up grabbing it. And this is called A Kind of Murder. And this has Patrick Wilson in it and Jessica Biel, who are fantastic. I don't recognize the other names, but you guys might. But look at this slipcover. It is this silver shiny, and it is really cool. So this one was released in 2015, and it is based off a novel. And it is supposed to be like a Hitchcockian thriller. So I figured it would probably be pretty decent with that cast and kind of based on what it's about. So A Kind of Murder from 2015. This is a like cult horror film that I've always heard a lot about, but I've never seen. And so I decided to pick it up, and that is The Signal. And this one was released in 2007. And this one kind of has a cult following behind it, but it's one I've not seen. It's one that's been on my list for a very long time. So I figured I would pick it up and see what all the fuss is about. So The Signal from 2007. Next up is a film that I'm really excited to finally have in my collection because I've seen this years ago and really enjoyed it. Now, it is a Michael Bay film, and I like Michael Bay films. I'm not going to apologize for that. It's just the way it is. They are big, loud, and ridiculous, and I enjoy the hell out of them. So we have The Island, and let's see, this one was released in 2005. And what was special about this film for me was that it was like the first one that I ever watched that I knew was filmed in my hometown. So they used like the old abandoned train station, which is kind of sort of a landmark in the city of Detroit. They use it for one of their fight scenes in this, and then eventually like Transformers goes on to use it in a bunch of other films in the future, Batman vs. Superman, so on and so forth. But this was one of the first that I knew that used it, and so it was the reason I watched it, frankly. And it's not a huge sequence in there, but it's a really cool one. So very happy to have The Island in my collection. This is one I've seen before, so I'm happy to have it now so I can watch it again. So The Island, which actually ScarJo's in this, so come on, check out The Island if you haven't seen it. It's worth your time. Next up is just a silly comedy that I've always enjoyed, and that is Black Sheep, starring David Spade and Chris Farley. And I think of the two films they did together, I think there was only two. This is the one I enjoyed more out of those two. So I really like this film, and I think it is absolutely worth the price tag there, as you can see. And, you know, not much else to say about it. It is a stupid comedy, but Chris Farley and David Spade are fantastic together. So another one that's definitely worth the price. And then we have another horror film that I don't know too much about, but it looked pretty interesting. This is Apartment 143. So this one is a Magnet Releasing did a lot of these movies that you're seeing here. So something to keep in mind, if you like Magnet Releasing, then you'll probably find some movies at Big Lots from that company. But this is another haunting film. It looks like another possession type film. I think on the talks about paranormal activity in just about every possible way, but with action. So we'll see if that jab at paranormal activity is, earned or not. So Apartment 143, and this one was released in 2011. This is another really stupid comedy, but it's Will Ferrell, and I just think he's hilarious. The best part about this, though, this is normally a $5 item at Big Lots, but it was on clearance for $2.50. So I'm not going to pass up Anchorman. For some reason, I didn't have it in my collection, and so I figured I needed to add it. So now I just have to get Anchorman 2, so I have both films, which I've actually not seen Anchorman 2. I've only seen the first one, and I saw this in theaters when it came out. I loved it. I've seen it since. I like it well enough. It's just a dumb comedy, so added Anchorman to my collection for only $2.50. Okay, I said there were two $5 items, but there were actually three. And first up is, frankly, one for my wife. And that's not to say I don't like this movie, because I love the first one. I've not seen the second one. But we have the Pitch Perfect double pack. So this is Pitch Perfect 1 and Pitch Perfect 2. The cast on these are fantastic. The first one is hilarious. I love the music. I mean, there's really not much wrong with the first film. So now I can check out the second movie. So my wife loves both of these and has been begging me to watch these again. We just didn't have access to them. So now we do. Pitch Perfect and Pitch Perfect 2 for $5. I always say that I'm not a steelbook collector anymore, and that's true. But when I see a steelbook of a film that I'm interested in for $5, I'm going to do it. So we have War Dogs. And the reason I wanted to see this is, one, it's based on a true story. Two, it has Jonah Hill in it, which I know people hate on him all the time, but I think he's hilarious. And so I really wanted to check this one out. And it's the steelbook, and the steelbook looks really cool. So happy to have this one. It was only $5. Don't know much about the true story behind it at all, but hopefully the film teaches me a little something about it. But looks really cool. So War Dogs, and this one was released in, well, I have no idea when this one was released because there's no date on the back, but I don't think it was too terribly long ago. So War Dogs on steelbook for $5 from Big Lots. The final film I was able to find at Big Lots is probably the one I'm most excited about, just because I enjoy this movie and it has this really cool edition. So not only is this Zoolander, the steelbook edition of it, the blue steelbook as it says on the side there, but it also has this ridiculous wig that comes with it, obviously based on Ben Stiller's character. So I have always enjoyed this. I've only seen this maybe once or twice, and I've liked it when I've seen it, but I really wanted to revisit it. I've not seen Zoolander 2, so I will have to get that one eventually, but I'm really happy to add the steelbook, the blue steelbook of Zoolander to the collection for such a cheap price, especially with this like cool special edition version that I was able to find. Next up is my Dollar Tree haul. Actually, I picked up all of these today, and I just got lucky. I walked in and they happened to be having the sale going on. So please, if you're interested in Dollar Tree Blu-rays, Dollar Tree DVDs, check out your Dollar Tree this weekend. You might get lucky like I did. First up, I'm going to talk about the DVDs I grabbed because I did grab some. Most of these are just ones that either one, I really wanted to see them, or two, are not readily or easily available on Blu-ray, so I decided just to grab the DVD of them. But first up, we have The Office, the complete first season. And this is the original BBC version of The Office, which I've been wanting to see forever because it has Ricky Gervais, who I think is awesome. I love Ricky Gervais. So I've really wanted to check this one out. I know you can get like the full series for super cheap, but for $1 on DVD, I'm going to take the first series or first season rather, and see how it is. So The Office, the BBC original first season at Dollar Tree. Next up is one of my favorites that you find at Dollar Tree, these ridiculous collections. And this is the Mega Shark collection with 8 different shark films on it. So I'm going to put it on the back there so you can kind of see what films are here. I don't really know anything about any of these films, but maybe you guys do. It has Shark Attack 2, and Shark Attack 3, so that's cool. I have a trilogy now. Sharkman, Malibu Shark Attack, which I have heard of that one. So I don't know. I love shark movies, and, you know, the cheesier the better, so we'll see how this is. But 8 films for $1. I mean, who cares if they're garbage? This is a really cool find. This next one falls into the category of one I just genuinely want to see. I actually heard somebody talking about this the other day and remembered, damn, I have not yet watched this film, and I checked my Blu-ray collection, and I don't own it. But I do have it on DVD now, and this is I Saw the Devil. So this is a film that is basically a revenge film from what I understand, but it's supposed to be super bloody and super gory. So super right up my alley. So it looks like this one is from 2010 and it is a Korean film. So if you have been interested in this and haven't been able to find it, now's the time to check your Dollar Tree. So I Saw the Devil from 2010. This next one is one I was really excited to find because I've been wanting to see it forever, but I've never actually gotten it. And that is Time Crimes. This is directed by Nacho Vigalondo. From 2007, it looks like. I've been wanting to see this one ever since I watched, I believe it was Primer. And everyone said, hey, you like Primer, check out Time Crimes. It's kind of a precursor to Primer, I believe. And so it is a time-traveling thriller, or I don't think it's a horror film, kind of like a sci-fi thriller, I believe, with obviously time traveling being a theme of the film. So I love time travel films, so I'm hoping I'm going to like this one. And this is another from Magnet, so you can kind of see how it goes from Big Lots, and if it doesn't sell, eventually ends up at the Dollar Tree, which is, I'm guessing, what happened with this. So Time Crimes from 2007. Here's a film I've never heard of, but it sounds right up my alley. This is called Domain. And from the back, it says, after a deadly virus wipes out most of humanity, the survivors are forced to wait alone in the self-sustaining bunkers while the viral threat runs its course. They're able to communicate through a networked video interface, so basically they are trapped during a virus and they talk through like a Zoom, basically, is what it sounds like. So that's right up my alley. I just talked about in my wrap-up how much I loved Host. I have no expectations that this is going to be anywhere near as good as Host, but it sounded really cool for $1, and it came with the slipcover, so I'm a sucker for a slipcover. These next couple are from Wild Eye Releasing, which I know from the website. They used to send review copies way back when we were doing written reviews on the site. And so I have enjoyed things I've watched from in the past, so I wanted to grab these. First up is Scrawl, and the tagline got me. It's the comic book that kills. I mean, it's so absurd and ridiculous, so I figured I would give it a shot, because why not? So Scrawl, and this one was released in 2015. And the second Wild Eye Releasing film, released in 2018, we have The Snarling. So obviously this is going to be a werewolf film, which, you know, I am kind of hit and miss on werewolf films. Some of them I really enjoy, others I'm very lukewarm on, but I figured I would give it a shot. So The Snarling from 2018. The last DVD I found is one I am super excited to own, and this is basically the horror genre's answer to Expendables. We have Death House, and this one was released in 2018. So you can see the cast here. Kane Hodder, Bill Moseley, Dee Wallace, and Sid Haig are all in this one. It's kind of like the best of the best when it comes to the horror genre, at least kind of that more independent horror. And this looks fantastic. I've not actually heard anything about this. I knew it was coming out, but I don't know of anyone that's actually watched it, so I don't know any opinions on this one, or I haven't read any reviews. So we'll see how it is. It is probably going to be something I'll enjoy just given the cast, but we'll see. And this is one I frankly have no idea if this was released on Blu-ray or not, so who knows, but either way, it's $1, so I'm sure it'll be worth it. So Death House from 2018. Alright, so let's jump over to the Blu-rays I was able to find today. And first up, let me show these two together. So I've been watching the MovieBuffPaynes, who I've mentioned on the channel before. They are an awesome married couple who talk Blu-rays. They have probably the most insane and awesome Blu-ray collection I've ever seen. And they actually found these on DVD, I believe. So I was able to find them on Blu-ray, which blew my mind. So we have Help, I Shrunk the Teacher, and Help, I Shrunk My Parents. So I'm a big fan of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, and Honey, I Shrunk the Parent, whatever the heck that third one is, I can't remember. But, so these are probably in that same vein, but they're just kind of low budget, knockoffs of them. I found one of these on DVD earlier in the month, but I couldn't find the other one. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to pass. They're probably not very good anyway. So I skipped it. But now when I find both of them on Blu-ray for $1 each, yeah, I'm going to get them. So if nothing else, they'll probably be fun family films. And even if they're not that great, there might be something that my daughter might like someday. So who cares? They're $1. Help, I Shrunk My Teacher, and then Help, I Shrunk My Parents. And I believe The Parents is the original and then Teacher is the sequel, but don't quote me on that. Not that it really matters, I'm sure. So really cool to have found these just because I didn't even know they had Blu-rays of them. I always see in the Dollar Tree hauls that people have these really cool looking nature documentaries, which I'm a huge nerd. I love nature documentaries. So I figured I would grab this one. This is Earth, the Biography, and this was released by BBC Video. I don't know anything other than that, but it's a nature documentary, so I figured I would pick it up. If nothing else, the cinematography, the visuals are probably going to be pretty darn cool to look at. So, Earth, the Biography from BBC Video. This next one is one that I actually had in my hand in the past, but I decided to pass on it for whatever reason. But today, why, I don't know, I decided it was time to grab it. We have Outrage from 2010, and this is a Japanese film. It looks like it's like Yakuza related, or Yakuza, however you say that. And so, it's actually called Outrage, Way of the Yakuza. So, it's a Takashi Kitano film, and it's supposed to be very, very gory, so that sounds really cool to me. So, Outrage from 2010. This next one is one I grabbed with the hope that I will find the original at some point here in the near future at a Dollar Tree. But we have District 13 Ultimatum, which of course is the sequel to District 13. And this is, from how I understand it, and please correct me down in the comments below if I'm wrong, because that's always possible. But how I understand this is that this is the original that Blomkamp's District 13 was based off of. This is the French original. So again, I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but that's how I have been sold on the movie in the past. So we'll see how this is. I know it has a lot of parkour in it, so, take that for what you will, but we'll see. So District 13 Ultimatum, and this was released in 2008, and it is the sequel to District 13. So hopefully I can find the original at a Dollar Tree on Blu-ray, and hopefully in the near future here. Next up is a film that, again, I've not ever even heard of, and that is Warning Shot. So really the reason I grabbed this is, one, because it has this based on a true story on the back, and it sounds like it is a mother that is basically trying to protect her daughter from some, wrongdoing, or some evildoers, I should say. And it stars David Spade and James Earl Jones, or it doesn't star those, but David Spade and James Earl Jones are both in this, so I think it'll probably be pretty decent, if nothing else, but who knows. So Warning Shot from 2018, please let me know down in the comments below if this one is worth my time at all. I would love to hear about it, so let me know down there. A few more to go. Next up is a horror film called Playback. And this is one that I have passed up on DVD from Dollar Tree in the past, but since it's a Blu-ray, I did decide to pick it up. And this stars Christian Slater, which is really the only reason I was interested in it. It is another horror film that I believe is more ghost-related, more haunting-related, but I could be wrong on that. So we'll see how this one is. Playback from 2011 starring Christian Slater. Next up is another one from Magnet, and this is supposed to be actually a really funny horror comedy, and it's Bad Milo. So I've not seen this one either, but I've heard really good things about it, and I believe it was in the MovieBuffPaynes when they were going through all of their entire horror collection. They talked about this. It was either their horror or their comedy. They mentioned that it was actually really funny, so I found it for $1, so I wanted to grab it. So Bad Milo, and this one was released in 2013. We are at the end, and This is such a ridiculous movie. I don't even know why I grabbed it, but it's another one that is from Wild Eye Releasing, and it's the only Blu-ray that I've ever seen from Wild Eye, so I wanted to grab it, especially because this cover is ridiculous, and it comes with a slipcover. That's absurd. We have the Jurassic Dead. I mean, how absurd is that? So this film was originally released in 2018, and it's probably as ridiculous as it sounds. And then when you turn it over, it's even better because it says, the only thing worse than a zombie, well, of course, it's a zombie-saurus. I mean, that's just good logic. So we'll see how this one is. Slipcover and all. Another one from Wild Eye Releasing from 2018. The last film I was able to find at Dollar Tree today. We have the Jurassic Dead. Oh, you guys, this is awesome. I am so happy that I ended up stopping in at the Dollar Tree. I literally went there because I had to pick up like non-media related things, and I come out with this. Oh, it was awesome. Today has just been a really, really good day. So I don't know, for media purchasing anyway, and things I've been able to find, it's just been clicking, man. It's been so fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of unexpected impromptu haul. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys hit up Dollar Tree, Dollar General, or Big Lots. If there's any other stores that are similar, let me know down in the comments below. I always am looking for new stores to try to find Blu-rays and DVDs, anything media related. So let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to have more of a conversation with you guys down there. As always, if you guys did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to Cinefessions here on YouTube. And if not, thank you anyway for watching this video. I really do appreciate that. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.